21 years of age goalkeeper. He made 19 appearances for the under-23s last season, keeping 2 clean sheets. We do wish him well, but that does raise into question what's going to happen with the under-23 goalkeeping situation. Does Nathan Trott go back to the under-23s? Nathan Trott spent most of the season as a backup keeper. He was on the bench for the senior squad. Now, we know the whole thing that's going on with the goalies at the moment in the senior squad. Fabianski has extended his contract by a year. And David Martin, as I said yesterday, he's also extended his time at West Ham by a year as well. But we've been saying for quite some time that Fabianski needs someone to compete with him for the number 1 slot. And now, does that mean Nathan Trott goes back into the under-23s and there'll be no backup? Or does that mean that Nathan Trott will stay with the senior squad? Because we have another goalkeeper called Christian Hegia, who's played for the under-18s this season and highly considered. Yet again, another goalie highly considered. Will he make the step up to the under-23s, or will Nathan Trott make the step back down again? But good luck to Joseph Anang, decent keeper, and we really wish him well for the season ahead at Stevenage. Right. As I said, David Sullivan and David Moyes were apparently spotted at the Scotland-Czech Republic game. Now, we know David Moyes is on holiday up in Scotland, so he might have just been taking some R&R and just thought, why not get a game in? Or maybe both of them. I mean, it's quite interesting, isn't it, that both David Sullivan and David Moyes were at the game. Well, they must have been talent spotting. Surely they must have been scouting a player or two. And there are 3 players, I think, in particular that may have caught their eye. Maybe not the 3 that maybe a lot of people might be thinking of. But for me, the first of the 3 is goalkeeper. We've just been talking about goalies. Czech Republic keeper Thomas Vaclik. Now, Vaclik is an interesting player. He's had 38 caps for the Czech Republic so far. And he's a goalie for Sevilla. Now, well, until the end of June, he will be. He's been with the Spanish club for 3 seasons, 32 years of age, but he only made 8 appearances for the Spanish club last season. And the reason for that is because he lost his place due to a serious knee injury. So he missed the best part of the second season at Sevilla. And then when he was back from injury, he lost his place to a goalie called Yasin Bono. Now, there are rumours that Vaclik has turned down offers from Sevilla to extend his stay there. They do rate him highly, but he wants first-team football. So the fact that the transfer rumour is linking him to Real Madrid is quite an interesting one. Now, we've had it ourselves. Adrian, when he was with us, he was offered an extension of his contract, but he wanted to leave for first-team football as well. And he was on his way to Spain. But the interesting thing is, Liverpool came in for him and said, would you like to be our backup keeper? And he won a Premier League Champions medal by doing that. So you can see the attraction of a goalie, especially at Vaclik's age at 32. You can see the attraction of maybe going to Real Madrid. But if he wants first-team football, then why not come to West Ham United if there's any chance at all of him doing that? Decent keeper, as I said, in the first season and a half that he was at Sevilla, he was first choice keeper. He didn't lose his place because of bad form or anything. He lost his place simply because of the bad knee injury. And now that he's back, he wants to be back as a first team goalie. As I said a moment ago, I think we need to be looking for a goalkeeper to be competing with Fabianski. I don't think Randolph is competing with Fabianski for the first team spot. I think Randolph is a decent backup. David Martin certainly isn't going to be competing for it. If Nathan Trott does drop back down to the under-23s, then he ain't going to be competing for that goalie shirt. So why not someone like Vaclik? Looked decent. He kept the Czech Republic in the game yesterday. Some very, very decent saves. He's a very solid goalkeeper, demanding in his box. Why not? That would be an interesting one. And I think, if we are on the lookout for a keeper and if we don't have the money to spend, then what worse can we do than go to Vaclik and say, look, you can go to Real Madrid as a backup keeper, or you can come to West Ham United and compete with Fabianski for that number 1 shirt. Would be a good shout, I think. Let's have a look at some comments before I carry on. Jordan, hello, mate. We should have sold Randolph and Martin, brought in a young keeper at Fabianski's level, and then used Fab as backup for 2 more seasons. Well, how about Vatclick? What do you think of him, mate? Kimbo, hello to you, mate. Thank you for joining. Good to see you, Stel. I'd love to see Hungary win, but Portugal should smash them with Bruno and Ronaldo. Yeah, that'd be quite an interesting game. Good afternoon, D Lee. I hope you're well. Thank you for that. Mute, Mike D, mute. We can't hear you. Yeah, I know. I do apologise for listening to my voice going, but nothing was coming out. Well, a lot of you will probably think I talk a lot of crap anyway. So, yeah, thank you all for telling me that you can't hear me. I hope now that you can hear me. Good afternoon, Clive. I hope you're well, mate. I hope all is well with you. Muted, etc., etc. Jordan is going through the whole show like this. Silence is golden. Let's see if anyone. Where do I get to? No sound. I know. Let's scroll down. Hands up if you can't hear Stel. You're not the only one. Check your mic. Thank you. Silence is golden. God, does that mean when he finds out we'll start all over again? I did, Ironclad. Be longer than usual. Someone call him. Unmute. Oh dear. Are we going to get to a point where people can actually hear me? I hope you can hear me now. Sounds pennies drop. Thank you, Mike. Right. So now that you can hear me, what do you think of Vatclick? Would he be a decent choice for West Ham United? Do you think he's a goalie that maybe clean sheets, power problems? Vinay, I like that. Stu, I'm a legend. Only when you can't hear me, mate. Do you think he will be someone that maybe we should be looking at? Is he the sort of goalkeeper that maybe could compete with Fabianski for that first team slot? Who knows? I think it'd be a good shout. Gary, hello, mate. Oi, oi, irons. I'm sneaking a peek while I'm at work. Can't watch for long. Tune in later. You came at a time when you could hear me. If you tuned in about 5 minutes before, mate, you wouldn't have heard a word. Jordan, he has lumps in his hair. We need players with good hygiene in the dressing room, otherwise we'll negatively impact our season. Good afternoon, Marcus. Guys, come out of the link on YouTube, go back in. The sound comes back. There you go. That was clever of you, Marcus. I won't admit that I actually had myself on mute. I did have myself on mute. No Scottish players. Well, Henry, I don't know, actually. I think maybe, quite possibly, I think David Moyes would have been looking maybe at a Scottish player or two, but my gut tells me, my gut instinct, he was doing some checking out the checks. Anton and Company, I received the Irons mug. Thanks a million from Mark Ratchford. Glad you got it, mate. Maybe looking at Steve Clark for a coaching role. Ooh. Interesting. I don't know. I think we're talking about bringing Billy McKinley back in. D-Lee, only a man with binoculars could spot Sullivan. Very true. Let's scroll down. Jordan, yes, get the Sevilla keeper and get rid of Martin and Randolph. Well, Martin is staying. Randolph, possibly might go if we get the Sevilla keeper in. We'll get him in for nothing. I mean, it'd be a good shout. Tommy, how are you, mate? Moyes was at the game working for UEFA. He was filing a report on tactics, formations, etc. Yep, we know, mate. I know he's got that job, but I mean, while he's there, why not do a bit of talent spotting as well? Mike D, we don't just buy the Czech team. Why don't we just buy the Czech team? It would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Just give them 100 mil and buy the lot of them all in one go. Morning Star, any news on Abraham? Absolutely nothing, mate. The transfer stories this week have been a bit slow, but nothing on Abraham as yet. So I think the main focus for David Moyes it's got to be Lingard. Moby Dick, that Yarmolenko fella looks decent. He sure does when he wears the Ukraine shirt. Jordan, let's look at hidden gems in San Marino. They have some quality bench players. Are we going to get to see San Marino? West Ham fan TV legendary Pixel. Sully loves a free. You know what? If he's a good freebie, great. If he's a shit freebie, then yeah, not so great. Jordan, all owners love it when they get free players. That is true. Gary, hello mate. I'm very well. I hope you are too. Moby Dick, yes, that Yarmolenko looks. Let's go and get him. Oh, looks like we have him already. That's the problem. As soon as he comes back to us, and maybe it's wearing a West Ham shirt that gets him injured. That's the problem. Kimbo, isn't Moyes working for the? He is. He's doing a lot, as Irish Tommy said. He's doing a lot of Uh, he's doing a lot of reports on tactics, etc. He's also got a column in the Times. If anyone is rich enough to subscribe to the Times newspaper, you'll see a lot of the things he does there. Lily, hello to you as well. Thank you for joining. Robert Singleton, how much? Well, he'll be free. That click will be free because he leaves at the end of this month with his as his contract expires. Ironclad, England need a decent keeper. Pickford's kicking is terrible. We call up a keeper from relegated Sheffield United. Yeah, I don't rate Pickford, to be honest with you, either. Trodge, give us a chance to get him from work. Don't worry, Trodge, because I was talking, I was muted for the first 7 minutes. So trust me, mate, you haven't really missed much. John Hicks, hello, mate. We want to get Lingard. We absolutely do. Moby Dick, I hate Arnautovic. I won't lie to you. What do you think of Trot? I think we haven't seen enough of Trot. Someone mentioned in the chat yesterday that he saw a lot of Trot when he was on loan at Wimbledon, and he did really, really well for them. Now, the talk was at the beginning of last season that Trot was going to go back out on loan, but because of the COVID situation, he didn't do so. I don't really get that, but anyway, so he didn't go back out on loan, but he's been on the bench for us almost the whole season. He's not been used. He's unlikely to be used next season as well. But I think it's good for Trot to have gotten first team experience, be around the first team. Now, will he make his breakthrough this season? I just don't know. It's all a bit up in the air with the goalie situation at West Ham United. We know Fabianski's staying. We know that Randolph's still got another 2 years on his contract. We know David Martin has signed for another year. Nathan Trott has got another year left on his contract as well. So I just don't know. My gut feeling is if he was ready, he'd already be making appearances in cup games, etc. But Nathan Trott wasn't used for that. Randolph was. So my gut tells me is we should be going out and looking for a keeper to compete with Fabianski for that first team slot. So why not Ratcliffe? If Nathan Trott's not going to be given the chance, I genuinely, with the greatest of respect, I genuinely don't think Randolph is good enough to be competing. So we either give Trott that opportunity or we go and get another keeper. I'm saying hello, Lily, and hello to you as well. Stu, the keeper looked decent, yeah, he absolutely did. D-Lee, fact of the day, Sebastian Schemmel had a restaurant called Upton Park in Luxembourg. Well, there you go, D-Lee. Thank you. D-Lee, why not do this? These facts of these odd facts of the day, and we'll I promise you we'll repeat them. Ironclad, Batman in goal, got to be a winner. Is that what he's called? I don't know. Steve Clark will cheer the place up. Alexandra Michatovic, did they find out what happened to Lingard's watch? Good question. No, it went. And it went. Yeah. No, don't know what happened to it. Stell's missus was well chuffed. He's on mute. She's probably on her way back from work, so I'm going to finish the show before she gets back. What's our main target? Lingard, Moby Dick. Yes, it is Lingard. He has been made our main target. So let's hope. I think some movement will happen on him next week. Fingers crossed. Jordan, Robert girls from Vietnam. Robert, girls from Vietnam are 10 or 20 pounds. I hope this information helps. Jordan. Am I back? I hope I'm back. If I'm back, just tell me because my link just went. I must have sworn a little bit as well. So I do apologize for that. I don't know what's going on with my link. I've asked my Wi-Fi company to check out the link. They told me there's nothing wrong with it, but it keeps dropping off. So if you saw me going, oh, fuck me, and swearing a bit, I do apologize for that. And Ang seems better than Trot. I can't compare, to be really honest with you. I really don't know whether Ang is better than Trot or not. They both rated quite highly, so I don't know. David, Whetstone out. Ironclad can get the Times, other papers, and lots of mags on an app called Press Reader. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for that. Ours is free via our local library. Get various footy mags too. Yeah, apparently David Moyes' column in the Times is a good read. I like to see Trot have a season in the Championship. That's a good shout as well. So I don't know what will happen. Jordan, you're welcome. This is the information children need to be taught when in school. How are we not taught about the bargains of Vietnam? I don't know. Jordan, you are out there, mate. I'm back. Thank you. Yes, right. So let's move on. Who else would he have talent spotted? Well, I kind of guess we all know that he must have been looking at Alex Kral, despite the fact that we've been told that the Alex Kral rumor is not true. He must have been looking at Alex Kral while out there. Now he didn't have a great game yesterday. I don't think he really shone very much. He had a 60% pass success rate. He won 3 aerial battles. He made 2 interceptions and 2 tackles. But when you compare him to how Declan played his game for England the other day and how effective Soucek was in the game against Scotland, Kral didn't really shine very much. Defensive midfielder, we all know about him. We've read about him enough times. 23 years of age, 30 appearances for Spartak Moscow last season. Apparently valued at £14 million. And of course, he's been transfer rumoured to be linked to us. Now, will we go for him? I don't think you can decide on just one game. Absolutely not. You've got to look at the way he's played for Spartak Moscow, and other games for his international team. I think we are there looking at him. I think the reason why the board have turned around and gone, well, no, there's no interest in him, is just not to inspire any more interest from other clubs. So I think we probably are looking at him. And of course, the last player I think maybe we must have caught our eye is striker Patrick Schick. Not only was he brilliant in scoring the 2 goals that he scored, the first goal was a superb, typical goal scorer, striker type header, great cross in by Soufal. And then the second goal, what vision and what technique to catch the goalie out. I mean, the goalie was way off his line, but the fact that he saw that and the vision to do that was a superb second goal. So he's a striker with Bayer Leverkusen, 25 years of age. Last season, he made 36 appearances for Leverkusen. He scored 13 goals in all competitions with 2 assists. Value, round about £30 million. There aren't any transfer rumours at this stage. I think I've thrown him in there because I think maybe David Moyes would have rather seen Hlozek, who came on later in the game, didn't really do much. He came on, played out wide, didn't really get much into the game. But Patrick Schick must have, David Moyes can't have not noticed him. Now, his style of play, he can play as a lone striker. He can play as a target man. He's excellent at holding the ball up, possesses great technique, technical ability to drive the ball forward himself. It's without a doubt that he could easily fit into a David Moyes type of team, especially Moyes preferring the lone striker role. We always talk about how indispensable Antonio is, and yet Schick comes across as a very, very similar player, and at 25 years of age as well. Now, even though he's only 25 years of age, he's been a bit of a journeyman. He started his career in the youth development squad at Slavia Prague, and then he had spells in Sampdoria. He was sold to Sampdoria and then had loan spells to AS Roma, and that's AS Roma decided to buy him for a whopping £38 million. But within a year, he was on the move again. He went to Red Bull Leipzig and until Roma sold him again in 2020 for £24 million. So he's been around a bit. Now, the reason why I put a £30 million price tag on him is not only for his age, but he's got a contract till 2025. And if Bayer Leverkusen were tempted to sell him, they're going to want to make money back on the player. They bought him for around about £24 million. So they're going to think, well, if you're interested, you got to give us at least 30 million for him to go. I'm not suggesting for a minute he's a target for us, but I can't deny that he definitely caught the eye when he played for Czech Republic against Scotland. So that's it. Let's finish off with some comments. My apologies for the start of the show where you couldn't hear me. My apologies that you lost sight of me for a few seconds, and you must have been seeing me effing and blinding. So apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the information that I've given you. So let's scroll down and see what other comments we have. What have we got here? He done well first half, the keeper, Gary. So you don't think he did as well the second half? He kept a clean sheet. It's all you can ask a keeper to do. Yeah, I don't know. He looked solid to me. The keeper. What else have we got? I'm going to make a note of that, press reader, so I can get the times for nothing. Thank you for that, Ironclad. Charlie, he has froze for anyone. I did freeze. I'm so sorry about that. I'm going to contact my Wi-Fi company again to find out what the bloody hell's going on. Vinay, still get Klosik even though he was a late sub. Also, Weghorst, or whatever he's called, from the Netherlands, looked decent. Yeah, Weghorst looked like a decent striker, but I'll tell you what, I think Schick looked even better, to be honest with you. He's decent. Depends on price. Kimbo, who you talking about? Troj, Schick too late now. Yeah, I don't think we're in for him, to be quite honest with you. But I think he looked very, very decent. And I guess what I'm saying is, David Moyes was there. He must have been, looking at the players that are out there. He must have been eyeballing one or two, thinking he's quite decent. And Schick must have it must have been really prominent for him. Moby Dick. 2 great goals for Schick, absolutely. Troj, price probably just doubled on him. Yeah. Clive, so the Klosik links were way off. Then I've got to be honest with you, Clive. There's so many links to West Ham United. I do keep saying to people, take them with a pinch of salt. And as Irish Tommy alluded a few shows ago, the only time that he'll take interest in a player is when we're about to sign him, or when he sees him wearing the shirt. And Klosik, there's so many. I mean, he's just signed a 3-year extension at Sparta Prague. So what makes people think that maybe Sparta Prague are being clever in order to up his price? But I don't know. I don't know about Klosik. Everyone loves him. Everyone thinks he'd be a great player, but I'm not so sure Moyes. I'm not so sure the links were really that true. Vinay, Schlick would be too expensive. 4-year contract only with Leverkusen for 6 months. Yep, I totally agree. Troj, don't make a mistake of buying people who perform in the Euros. That's a really good point. We failed with that before. That is true. Robert, he will have his choice of clubs. I don't even think Bayer Leverkusen want to get rid of him, to be quite honest with you. Ryan, let's not kid ourselves. Sullivan was there watching Linden. Moby Dick, Coletta Carr looked decent. He certainly did. If you watch my show, I can't remember which one I did it on, the West Ham Daily or the West Ham Weekly from Monday. I did a piece about Coletta Carr. Very, very decent. He's worth around 20 million, give or take. Gary Rutter, Tarkowski wants to join us. He was also on the show last night in the West Ham Weekly. Yeah, he wants to join us now. That, again, rumours. You can't believe the rumours. But what are Burnley going to do again? Are they going to start messing around with us as they did last season, at the beginning of last season, and go, if you want him, we already bid 31 million for him and they turned us down. I don't know if West Ham will want to go through that rubbish again, to be honest with you. Vinay, Schlick will end up in the so-called Big Six if he comes to England. Good point, good shout. Jordan, Troj player. Players who can perform for their club and country are 100% worth getting, means that they are more likely to perform for us as well. Well, see, the interesting thing with Schick is he didn't have such a great 2 seasons. I mean, last season he only scored, what did I say? He only scored something like 13 goals in all competitions. And the season before that, he only scored 10 goals. So he's not a prolific striker, but people do believe he's the next up-and-coming. Well, how many times have I said the next up-and-coming player? Troj, we've been stung this way before, but we need to learn from history. Absolutely. Didn't we sign Barrera like that? We've signed quite a few players like that, to be quite honest with you. Jordan, thank you. Have a great rest of the day. I hope I didn't ruin it for you by the start and the end of the show. Moby Dick, I am finishing, to be honest with you, mate. I'm sorry. These are meant to be short and sweet, to be really honest with you. They're not meant to be really long shows. And I'm meeting a mate and going out for a drink to watch the football tonight as well. So I've got to have a shower and all that stuff. Stuart, it's actually true still that so many people are having internet issues. Well, I just wish my company will effing well sort mine out. Ironclad. You're chic and you know you are. You're chic and you know you are. Trodge, just saying some players can just hit a run of form right at the right time to get overpriced. No, mate, you are absolutely right. I don't disagree with that at all. Irish Tommy, I'm sick of these rumours already. Gary Rutter story. So I thought you were talking about another keeper. Who was I talking about? No. What I was talking about was Vatlick. I'd like, looks decent, and he has proven it for his club and country. Trudge, I still want Klosek and Sufal signed an extension. Don't worry about Sufal. Sufal's already signed till 2024. There's absolutely no rush for him to be signed at all. Kyriakos Andrea, you've got the same surname as you've got the same first name as I've got surname. Well, kind of. I saw any news in and out of West Ham, example Lingard. Nothing as yet, mate. I think now that Moyes has only just signed his contract, his 3-year contract, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more solid rumours. There's a lot of rumours, absolutely, and we bring you a daily show. In fact, we're bringing you 2 or 3 shows now to talk about all the rumours that are popping up. But in terms of Lingard, I reckon something will start happening next week with Lingard. So watch this space. Grumpy old Ben, hello, mate. Reports the player is having a medical is when I start paying attention. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, but it would make our shows boring. We'd have nothing to talk about. So we kind of love and hate these transfer stories because that gives us content to give to you guys. It entertains you. But I've got to be honest with you. Sometimes we do sit here and go, what? It's like the Chris Wood link from last week. I mean, what a rubbish link that is, and the fact that people actually believe that we're going to buy a 29-year-old for 30 million pounds off Burnley makes me laugh. Scott Randall, hello, mate. I'm pretty sure Moyes always has signings figured out. Now we just wait. I agree with you. And the thing is, the other interesting thing about all these links is Moyes comes out of left field, so here we are talking about Kral and Lingard and all these players. Lingard is a dead cert. I mean, even Moyes has said he wants to bring him back. But we talk about all these other links like Klosek, etc., Abdullah Sima from Slavia Prague, etc. And then a player comes through that none of us would have thought of. No talk. There's been no talk about him, and we've signed him. So I think Moyes has got his own little list that we'll never sort of get to see. Moby, in Moyes we trust, absolutely. Robert Singleton, linked with Paul Onachu from Genk, value at 18 million. I've not heard of that one, to be honest with you, mate. Kyriakos, Andrea, also thank God biased commentators didn't mention Rice. Good for us. Lest they mention him, let Yarmolenko shine, money coming in. It's amazing why everyone thinks that Yarmolenko is going to have a good Euros, and all of a sudden his price is going to increase. He's on his last year of his contract. If we get 10 million for him, I'd be chuffed, to be honest with you. I think we'd have done really well. But yeah, I agree with you about Declan. Keep him under the radar. Well, mind you, people were praising him. They did praise the way he did all the dirty work and allowed Phillips to shine. Moby Dick, don't rate Abrahams, but if Moyes does, then I know who's wrong. Yeah, it's interesting because I wasn't much up for Abraham until I did my show from last week about him, and I researched him. And actually, I got to give the boy credit where credit's due. If you remember, when Chelsea couldn't sign any players and they had to rely on the youngsters, that's where Abraham made his breakthrough, and he was really decent for Chelsea. So I don't know, there might be a player in there that might actually be quite decent. Ironclad, Stell, didn't we just sign your daughter's boyfriend last week? I did ask her. I'd said, do you know Pierre Equa? And she went, no. I said he's the French player from Chelsea. I don't know any French players. I don't know any players from Chelsea. She's in total denial now, Ironclad, that she dates an under-23s Chelsea player. Fucking what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong for her to be doing that to me? Anyway, Mark Ratchford, still buzzing over Moyes' contract. Carry on. Absolutely. Moby Dick, Shane Anderson ain't in Euros having a blinder. Yeah, you know what, Moby. I keep saying it. I mean, Anderson's back. I mean, there's talk about him going. He's going to be one of the first to leave West Ham this summer. Still think he could do a job for us. I really, really do. There's talk about him going to Lazio. Again, if you watch my show from West Ham Weekly from Monday night, there's a little bit about him as well. I heard a rumor. Banana Rama, not Benny, is the song for summer. I don't know, mate. You might be right, Vinay. I don't know that might have even been a joke. I don't know. I mean, Sufal signed an extension with his. True. The difference, though, is that Klosek is 18 years of age. So signing a 3-year extension for someone like Hlozek could either mean either really, really bumping up his value, or that he believes that Sparta Prague is the place for him to continue developing. Whereas Sufal was 28 years of age, or 27 when he joined us, and so the reason why he signed an extension on his contract was just to up his price a little bit. And I did say, we only bought him for £5 million. What would he have been worth if he didn't sign an extended contract? 2.5 million. So I think that's probably the reason why that there's a difference there between the two. Clive, good to see you. Still to speak soon. Absolutely, mate. I hope you're keeping very well, Clive. Moby, have a good evening. Don't get too pissed. Well, I'll try not to. Scott, just saw this. UEFA have appointed an ethics inspector to investigate Austria strike. Yes, about his racial outburst. What was the point of that? And I don't want the player back, even less so for doing what he did. And apparently the Leeds keeper, I was told by Toby, the Leeds keeper can give it some. And maybe that's what Arnautovic. But just let it go. And why does he always have to be look at me, look at me, look at me? I don't like that about Arnautovic, and I really hope that it's just rumor about him coming to us, and no more than that. Vinay, West Ham will sign Seema, Pima, Lima, or whoever we will have to wait. Gary, best right back in the Premier League. Absolutely, mate. I mean, he's been a revelation. Yama didn't track back once all game for the national team. No, but you see, Trudge, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Whenever Yarmolenko runs too much, he bloody well injures himself. But the unfortunate thing is the way we play at West Ham United, we can't afford. David Moyes wants him to run back, wants him to cover, and that's where the injuries are picked up. Dealey, coal miners did all the dirty work, but kept the country running until Thatcher got him out. I mean, I remember all that. But let's not get political. Let's not get political. Ironclad, where's Anton? Still crying in his iron brew. Anton will tell you quite categorically that he's not a Scottish fan. When he's back on, just listen to the accent, and you tell me whether he's an English fan or a Scottish fan. He swears blind he's England. Anyway, Gary, I'm baffled how teams don't work out Yarmolenko cutting in on his left foot. You show him down the right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Trudge, Mourinho was correct, and Arnie is mentally aged 12. Don't like Arnie at all. I really don't. Ethics inspector sounds like it's straight from an Orwell novel. Yeah, that is, yeah, good point. Good point. GP, good afternoon to you. Sad to hear about Anton melting from this hot weather in the cupboard. He's moved out. Have you not heard, GP? He moved his kids out of their playroom in order for him to do the shows. I mean, what sort of father is that? He supports Scotland, and he kicked his kids out of the playroom. Ironclad, Austria must be bad to reply on a bloke playing in the Chinese league. Jordan, just quickly before you go, are you planning on using this channel as a job someday? Oh, mate, it will never pay me enough money, to be honest with you. I'd love to buy a membership for extra content eventually when your channel gets bigger. I don't think our channel will ever get better. I mean, yeah, of course, we all love, we love doing it. We love, we kind of we've tried not to do it for the money, but a lot of people have asked us about this, and we've talked about it, and we're dabbling with the idea, but I just don't know. It'll never make us. It will never make us real money. We do it because we love it. There might be something in the pipeline in the future, but you know what I'm like. If you've seen me trying to promote our sponsors, I'm shit at doing that. Can you imagine me trying to promote the channel? It will never work. Ironclad, as a Anton, as Scottish as Rod Stewart. Being at the start, I was supporting Scotland, and later I was hoping for a Souček hat trick. Gary App Parker leaving Fulham. Is he? Apparently, he's leaving Fulham. Is he? Wow. What's a surprise? Howard Ailes, good afternoon to you, mate. I'm about to go. Irish Tommy, Anton sent his kids out to play with the traffic so he could have his own broadcast room. Oh, Trod, part of the reason why you're the best. Oh, mate, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Ironclad, need to have a West Ham influencer show. They make all the money. A West Ham influencer show. God. Ooh. Mike D, the channel will get bigger if you turn up on time and come off mute. Very good points, mate. And on that note, it would be the first silent YouTube show. Right. And on that, thank you all for watching as per usual. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know who's going to do. I think Anton is going to do a little special about a certain Croatian centre back. So do watch out for that. And if any other news breaks, of course, we will come to you and bring the news to you. We're not always the first with the news, but we try and make it interesting and constructive, and we try and give you our views. And above all, we love the fact that you all engage and have your views as well. Howard, any news on Psycho signing? He'll sign now that Moyes has. Hang on a minute, people. I said I was going. Then there's about another 30 comments. Moby Dick, what's great about this channel is you read out the comments. Yeah, we try to do so all the time. See you later, Charlie. Much appreciated. Irish Tommy, great to see you, Marcel. And on that note, I'm definitely going. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you.